Welcome to Cashcraft 360, your go-to spot for everything business, money, and the secrets to financial mastery. Today, we're diving into a term that has the power to transform your financial understanding and boost your decision-making skills. Yes, as you guess, equity. But first, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered what makes a company, a house, or even a startup worth owning? That something is equity. And by the end of this video, you'll not only understand it like a pro, but also see how it works in the real world. Oh, and here's the deal. You won't just learn, you will also level up your financial IQ. So, if you're ready to turn your cash into crafted success, make sure to smash the subscribe button right now. Hit the like button too, and trust me, this video is going to be a game changer. Let's grow together. All right, let's craft some cash with equity, starting now. So, what is equity? Equity is a versatile term widely used in fields such as accounting, home ownership, investing, and startup financing. Although its specific application may vary across these domains, its core meaning remains consistent. Let's explore each context to build a comprehensive understanding of this fundamental concept. Before we jump in, here's a quick challenge. How would you explain equity in a single sentence? Tough, right? Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to answer that question like a pro. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into financial concepts. Firstly, equity in accounting. In accounting, equity refers to the residual value of a company's assets after deducting its liabilities. It represents the ownership interest held by shareholders and is prominently displayed on the balance sheet. Assets, what a company owns, are listed on the left side. Liabilities, what a company owes, and equity, the owner's capital, are on the right side. Simply, the relationship can be summarized through the accounting equation: assets equals liabilities plus equity, or equivalently, equity equals assets minus liabilities. Here's a quick thought. Think of equity like the icing on a cake. After all the ingredients are paid for, liabilities, the icing is what you, the owner, get to enjoy. Now, for all the curious minds, do you know why this equation is so central to accounting? Because it keeps companies in check financially. If you find this as fascinating as I do, stick around, there's more to unpack. Let's take an example. Consider a manufacturing company that owns a machine valued at $1 million. This asset is financed as follows: $800,000 from a bank loan, liability, $200,000 from shareholder equity, belonging to Jane, the business owner, for example. Are you imagining Jane smiling with growing profits, or stressing out over liabilities? This example highlights how equity is the story of a company's success, or its struggles. As we see, if the company generates profits, its equity increases, as net income is added to the retained earnings account. Conversely, if the company incurs losses or distributes dividends to shareholders, equity decreases. Next point, equity in home ownership. In the context of home ownership, equity is what a home is worth minus how much you owe to the bank. It's the portion of a home's value that belongs to the owner, calculated as the difference between the market value of the property and the outstanding mortgage loan. Let's play a quick game. Raise your hand if you've heard someone boast, "I have so much equity in my house." What they're really saying is they've paid down debt and built wealth. But how does that actually work? Let's see. Let's take an example. Jim owns a house worth $500,000. He has a mortgage loan balance of $400,000. Therefore, Jim's equity equals home value minus loan balance equals $500,000 minus $400,000 equals $100,000. Hey Jim, can we borrow some of that equity? Just kidding. But seriously, equity in real estate is one of the most common ways people build wealth over time. Let's now talk about factors affecting home equity. Firstly, loan repayments. If Jim pays down $50,000 of his mortgage, the outstanding loan decreases to $350,000, and his equity increases to $150,000. Secondly, market value changes. If the house's market value rises to $550,000, Jim's equity grows further to $200,000. Conversely, a decline in market value reduces equity and could result in negative equity when liabilities exceed the asset value. Negative equity can occur if the property's market value drops below the outstanding loan balance. For instance, if Jim's house value declines to $350,000, while his mortgage remains at $400,000, he would owe the bank more than the property is worth. In such cases, Jim may need to negotiate a remediation plan with the bank. In extreme scenarios, the bank might repossess the property and incur a partial loan write-off. Turning to the investing in equity. Building on the earlier example of a small manufacturing business, imagine scaling it to a large manufacturing corporation. This larger entity owns machines and equipment across multiple locations, with a total asset value of $1 billion. It finances these assets through $800 million in outstanding loans, which are publicly traded as bonds in the market, and the remaining balance is financed through equity, publicly traded shares owned by numerous shareholders. Now, ready for a plot twist? As an investor, you have a choice: play it safe with bonds or dive into the thrill of stocks. What would you choose? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see. Firstly, investing in bonds. Debt. Bonds typically offer a predetermined interest rate and are considered less risky since they are secured by the company's assets. For example, the machines act as collateral. Secondly, investing in stocks. Stocks represent ownership in the company, while they carry higher downside risk, for example, potential loss if the company underperforms. They also offer upside potential, as stockholders benefit directly from the company's growth and profitability. The decision boils down to risk tolerance and investment goals. Debt investments are more stable but have capped returns, while equity investments offer higher potential rewards, but come with increased uncertainty. Equity in startups. Startup equity differs from that of established businesses because early-stage companies lack tangible assets, established liabilities, or defined equity. Instead, startup financing and valuation rely on speculative estimates of future revenue, profits, and cash flow. It's the question now: how is startup equity valued? Valuing a startup often involves estimating the potential success of the business idea, projecting future profitability, assessing market conditions and investor interest. Ever dreamed of owning a slice of the next big startup? Well, welcome to the risky, rewarding world of startup equity. A popular cultural depiction of startup equity dynamics can be seen in the TV series Silicon Valley. In Season 1, the fictional startup Pied Piper provides a glimpse into equity allocation. Erlich Bachman, landlord incubator, holds 10% of the shares. Peter Gregory, investor, acquires 5% for a $200,000 investment, valuing the company at $4 million. Employees Jill Foyle, Dinesh, and Jared each receive 3% equity stakes. CEO Richard Hendricks retains 76% ownership. Remember that question I asked earlier? How would you define equity in a sentence? Well, if you've made it this far, you're ready to ace it. In all its forms: accounting, investing, and startup financing, equity represents the value that remains after obligations are met. It's the simplest metaphor for equity in home ownership: what a home is worth minus what you owe on it. Equity in businesses reflects the ownership value derived from assets minus liabilities. Investing in equity entails balancing potential rewards against inherent risks. Startup equity, a speculative and dynamic value influenced by innovation, market trends, and investor confidence. We are just scratching the surface, my friends. To dive deeper into financial systems and unlock your path to wealth creation, hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with everyone you know. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Now, it's time to say, see you later.